the origin of Indonesian foreign policy. Okay, student and all participants, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Your coming today, and I will continue my topic discussion. Yes. Yeah, this is our topic. Still the same topic with yesterday about the origin of Indonesian foreign policy. Today, I want to explore about the milestones of Indonesian diplomatic history achieved by Muhammad Hatta as a vice president, as double function as a prime minister at that time, because the government system changed from presidential to be a parliamentary system. In roundtable conference. So I want to describe about this milestone in Indonesian diplomatic history. Okay, we still in this passage of Indonesian foreign policy. I still continue this passage in page 1. Dear all participants, this is the milestone in Indonesian diplomatic history when Dutch and the Republic of Indonesia and one other party create a roundtable conference in Den Haag, Netherlands, 1949. The parties really not only Indonesia and Dutch, but also BFO. BFO means a federal council that consisted of regional leaders in Indonesia, excluded the Republic of Indonesia itself. It organized by Dutch. So it is as a continuum of prior agreement between Indonesia and Dutch that Indonesia changed from unitary state to be uni Indonesia and Dutch. And that means Indonesia changed to be quasi-federal system at that time. In the preparation of Dutch government to face the next at that time, the next conference, I mean, after prior agreement to face the roundtable conference, Dutch government create 16 regional government that they make a council. The name is BFO. So BFO is a federal council consisted regional leaders in Indonesia. Why it is very important in Indonesian diplomatic history? Because from this roundtable agreement or conference, Indonesia, as I stated yesterday, Indonesia received recognition de jure sovereignty by Dutch in 27 December 1949 in Den Haag. So the reception not only in Den Haag but also in Indonesia, in Yogyakarta at the time. because the capital of the Republic Indonesia moved from Batavia to Yogyakarta. Why? Because Batavia as the other region or the other territory of the Republic of Indonesia as a result of Linggarjati agreement. So it's maybe rather confused for you, but as you know that between Indonesia and Dutch, there are several agreements, and Dutch try to enter Indonesia again after Indonesian proclamation by created a small state to divided Indonesian region to be smaller and smaller and smaller. So the Republic of Indonesia, not after Linggarjati in 1947, Indonesia is not from Aceh to Merauke, no, just several regions in Yogyakarta and surrounding areas. Jawa Barat established, or West Java established as one state, Jawa Timur also, Borneo also, Sumatra also, and Eastern Indonesia also a different state, because quasi-Zuni Indonesia Belanda or Zuni Dutch Indonesia to be prepared to be a federal system. What is the form, the fixed form of this federalism will be discussed in 1949 in this roundtable conference. After the form of the federal system under the new constitution, we can imagine how to create constitution in short time in Den Haag at that time, to create the constitution of federal state, the United States of Indonesia. So that's the constitution of the United States of Indonesia. It's like United States. In this roundtable conference, not only a representative from the Republic of Indonesia, but also Dutch and BFO, the Federal Council from regional government or the state or negara bagian in this term. So after they make agreement on the constitution of the United States of Indonesia or Republik Indonesia Serikat in bahasa. After that, Queen Juliana recognized the Indonesian government, but not the Republic of Indonesia like proclaimed in 17 August 1945. Because in 1945, the proclamation of Indonesia cover from Aceh to Merauke, from the west until the east, from the north until the south. But in 27 December 1949, the territory of the Republic of Indonesia just as a part of the United States of Indonesia. So it's very small. Which is the region or the territory of the Republic of Indonesia? The territory of the Republic of Indonesia only surrounding Yogyakarta. That is why Presiden Soekarno and Muhammad Hatta as President and Vice President in the United States of Indonesia. So, who is the President of the Republic of Indonesia that only occupy a small territory in surrounding Yogyakarta? The original name of the Republic of Indonesia only occupies surrounding Yogyakarta territory, and the president is a temporary president, namely Mr. Muhammad As-Sa'ad at the time. Mr. Muhammad As-Sa'ad. So Mr. Muhammad As-Sa'ad just a temporary president for the Republic of Indonesia in the small region of Yogyakarta and surrounding areas. So it is as a part of the result of the Roundtable Conference. The third point from Roundtable Conference is about the Papuan issue. Papua issue was suspended 1 year later. Yeah, it is tactic from Muhammad Hatta how to get recognition. And personally, really, as I mentioned before, that Muhammad Hatta, since the beginning, doesn't agree that Papua as a part of Indonesia. Because Papua is not Malay. Because Papua is Melanesian people. So it is, yeah, it is more Hatta orientation, I think. Yeah, just smell like this. What about the domestic response on this result of roundtable conference? In one side, Indonesian position in front of international arena, we increase from de facto to be de jure. What is the difference? The de facto and de jure is very principle in international law, because if you are de jure recognized by other country, it means that you as a subject of international law fully. Maybe you will ask that, oh, the several countries in Middle East had recognized Indonesia. Why still there is a problem? Because the main actors in international law, there is no recognition for new baby Indonesian independent. That is why there is a problem in the international arena, such as in the United States, for example. When Indonesia want to enter the United States, will be rejected by the dominant actors. Why? Because there is the legal process in European view or perspective still problem. Yeah, at the time there is the spirit of decolonization. That's right. But the formal recognition is very important from Europe. Maybe from Middle East countries, there are many we get. But from Europe, at that time, we don't have. So this kind of recognition from the Dutch government is very important, because after that, Indonesia can enter international organization like the United Nations. Many reaction from the domestic politic, because it is very significant change. So if we see Indonesia in 5 or in 4 years first period from the proclamation, there are two change significantly. First, from presidential to be parliamentary system. The second, change from unitary system to be federal system, just in 4 or 5 years after proclamation. So many protests from political elites inside the country. And what happened after this milestone of diplomatic history in Indonesia? The president of Islamic party, this is the biggest Islamic party until today, Majelis Syura Muslimin Indonesia. The president name was Muhammad Natsir. On April 3rd, 1950, just several months, 4 months, 3 months after roundtable conference, deliver a historic speech in front of the Parliament of the Republic of the United States of Indonesia in the federal parliament. What is the monumental speech? This speech until today as a momentum. What is the title of this speech? The title is the Integral Motion, or in bahasa mosi integral Natsir, or Natsir's integral motion to back to unitary state. Why? Natsir see that after roundtable, there are many elite, several elite in Indonesian region try to establish their sovereign or self-government state, like in federal state, but not independent. One again, not independent, but it is like a puppet government from Dutch. So it is like boneka, you know, like puppet. So the political sound just echo from Netherlands. So it is not strengthen our not support our independent fully, but maybe just create the other nation. So Muhammad Nasir see that it is very dangerous if Indonesia in federal system but not support the independent fully. So the spirit, several, not all of, I say not all of, several regional government try to create their own independent state. Why? Because Dutch government try to still influence the political dynamic in Indonesia post-colonialism. So Nasir create many communication with Catholic and Protestant party, and also PNI, Partai Nasionalis Indonesia. Although at that time Indonesia had not yet general election, but the elite of the party chosen by President Sukarno to be member of parliament and also to be member of the cabinet or ministers. So it is this political activities before general election. So it is very relative. There is no precise measure how big your party, but it just what we feel. It is just political feeling from President Sukarno. Okay, your party bigger than this. Your party under yeah, maybe smaller than other. This is the domain of negotiation fully, because there is no not yet general election in 1950. Our first general election really in 1955. Okay, back to Muhammad Nasir integral motion. What happened after this motion? There are many local parliament in federal state. For example, in Java, the first local parliament that make a motion and stated to support Nasir integral is local parliament of Malang City, Kota Malang, or district of Malang at that time. So it is small city, but political echo very strong because Kota Malang is the first local parliament that support integral motion from Natsir. After that, local parliament from Sukabumi. After that, local parliament from South Sulawesi, and so on and so on. And Sumatra, Bukit Tinggi, and so on. So, Muhammad Nasir and the national elite like Hatta and Sukarno see this that many support for Muhammad Nasir motion. That is why Hatta and Bung Karno or Sukarno agree to form Hatta as the vice president, receive this mandate to form a preparatory committee consisting of delegates from all state, mean regional government, a state here because in federal system at that time, to make a collective agreement charter. Agreement about what? Agreement about back to unitary state. That is why on August 15th, President Sukarno read out, just read out the document signed by 11 fractions leader in the parliament, represent many parties and regional government, reach out the charter of formation of unitary state in a joint session of the Parliament and Senate of the Republic of Indonesia. At the time, still the United States. And to declare back to the unitary system. So 2 days later, 15 August, the president reads this document to back to the United States. 2 days later, during the celebration of 5th anniversary of the Proclamation of Independence, President Sukarno announced the birth of the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia. So, the federal system of the United States of Indonesia only 8 months. Only 8 months. Yeah, less than 1 year. Yeah. Maybe you remember that Muhammad Hatta really a federal. He support the federal system, but Muhammad Hatta also realized that politics is living realities. What's the meaning of living realities? Okay, my idea a federal system, but the reality, it is very rich, firstly. Secondly, democratically, the aspiration from 11 fraction from the political parties, there is no political parties reject this concept. So, the document signed by all of the head of the fraction in the parliament in 1950 to back to unitary state. Hatta, as a democratic person, realized and received this conclusion that because of many or several political consideration, the concept of federalism in Indonesia at that time is not a good choice. It's not a wise choice because of the threat, the national threat from other country and also from domestic politic. That is why Hatta with pleasure prepared to the committee to prepare how to make a change administration from federal to United States again. That is why Muhammad Nasir, as a president of Masumi or Islamic leader, until today, he was known as the architect of the unitary state system, or the architect to back to the unitary state system. So until today, Bung Karno just read the document, but the initiator, the lobbyists, all Muhammad Nasir at the time. Okay, so it is very important to understand about the milestone of Indonesian diplomatic history because it related to the next period about the fate of unitary state system. Okay. So what happened in domestic political and economic dynamics at the time in 1950, 1915? Okay, Indonesia in 17 August 1950 back to unitary system. But Indonesia still continue system, parliamentary system. Before 1914 or the end of 1940, presidential system, but after that change. So the baby of Indonesian found extremely difficult to create and operate a viable and effective government. Why? Because there is a political movement in several regions in Indonesia. Sometimes we call it as rebellion. Many many reasons about this. Related to military recruitment until the fairness of the position and also the share of autonomy. So Indonesian autonomy as a discourse really start from 1948 in the very beginning, Zia. And this is the picture. I will next I will give you a story before the election, but I will give you information that election in 1955 only resulted pluralities and weak and short-lived coalition government and unstable government under the parliamentary system or liberal democracy. So Indonesia in parliamentary system since before 1955. 1955 is very important because 1955 is the first general election in Indonesia. So it is maybe rather unique. There is parliamentary system and how to form a government before general election. This is historical fact in Indonesia in 1950 until 1955. There are many government formed but unstable, but all of these political activism before general election. Yes, emergency maybe. Okay, what about the legality? Legality is okay, legality, because the situation in revolution, not in normal situation. I think everybody can understand this as a political fact or historical fact. The situation, the economy was in decline and inflation rampant, uncontrollable, the country being corrupt. So Sultan Yogyakarta at the time, because of the bankrupt, say, government, the government of the Republic of Indonesia have no money to pay official person, I mean. That is why all of the salary paid by Sultan Yogyakarta. Yeah, this very big money at that time. Why not Sukarno Hatta? They don't have money. there is no there's no revenue, there is no income for the baby Republic of Indonesia. But Sultan Yogyakarta, yeah, because it is the old sultanate system, so Kesultanan Yogyakarta have saving to maintain their own government really, but because of the situation, uh, all of the payment in Indonesian government paid by Yogyakarta Sultanate government. So it is the first pengorbanan for Yogyakarta, for the Republic of Indonesia. It is a big dedication and loyalty. Fear of nationalization asset prevent significant foreign investment. Okay, there is no foreign investment because of the Sukarno statement about nationalism is very sharp in investor mind. So it is very dangerous for investor to come to Indonesia. They worry, what about nationalization and so on. And also, as I mentioned before, there is a political movement in several islands in Indonesia. Okay, I will start in detail. What is the international policy and national dynamic in 1950 until 1955, before general election? After the successful of Natsir integral motion, President Sukarno elected Natsir as a prime minister. So the first prime minister of the Republic of Indonesia after the Republic of Indonesia back to the unitary system is Muhammad Natsir. Muhammad Natsir, the president of the Islamic Party. The name is Masyumi or Majelis Syura Muslimin Indonesia. Under Natsir, there is no restriction for Indonesia to enter or join as a member of United Nations. Why? Because there is a recognition from European country. Look, but Dutch recognize Indonesia not as a unitary system, but as federal system. Is it matter or not? In international law, you can read that the form of the government really not international matter, but the form of the government fully internal affairs. It is internal business, not international business. So your country want to change from federal to be united, after united to be confederate, up to you. It is your own business. International law see this problem or activism as your internal or domestic domain. So when Muhammad Nasir bring Indonesia to enter United Nations, there is no problem. International law. Yeah, absolutely. Dutch and ally for first time try to reject or make obstacle, but it is easier for Indonesian diplomat to say that, hey, this is our business, not your business. To form federal state or unitary state is not international affair. It is our domestic affair. Nah, so Indonesia enter United Nations smoothly. There is no significant problem in Muhammad Nasir government at the time. Muhammad Nasir also famous many conflictual issues with Bung Karno. Why? Because Bung Karno friendly to the Communist Party, and Muhammad Nasir as president of Islamic Party, there are many issues not in one line with Bung Karno. Economy improve. So because there is support from European countries and also from Middle East, but failed to gain Papua under roundtable framework negotiation. As we mentioned, that Papua suspended 1 year. 1 year mean 1 year after 1949 is 150. Under Nasir, Nasir failed to get Papua enter Indonesia. Because the dynamic in the parliament, Nasir only served as prime minister in short period, less than 1 year. Only 9 months. Oh, no, just 7 months. After that, prime minister succession. The next prime minister is Sukimanwiryo Sanjoyo from April. Nasir September 50 to April 51. April 51 to February 52. It is also less than 1 year. In this period, there is fast growing revival and after rebellion in Madiun Affair 1948, there is fast growing revival communist supporter because of there is no significant punishment. Just Musso died in this revolution, but there is no mass political pressure at that time. So communists come back since 1952. There is a political accident at that time, the Mutual Security Act between Indonesia and USA under Ahmad Subandrio as a foreign minister and foreign minister Minister of the State of the United States to make a military agreement. It is very sensitive at the time. Why? Because Indonesia independent and active at the time. If you make military pact with United States, it means that you are under the political influence of the United States. Because of this political accident, Sukimanwiryo Sanjoyo fell down from the prime minister. After that, the successor of Sukiman is Prime Minister Wilopo. Yeah, more than 1 year. Firstly, Wilopo annulled Mutual Security Act. So dismiss this agreement because why Sukiman fell down because of this act. So therefore, to dismiss this agreement, military agreement. I mean, the relation between right wing and left wing in Indonesian created unstable until 1959. Because of the contraction, political contraction, Wilopo also fell down, and the successor was Prime Minister Ali Sastro Ami, first two-time Mr. Ali Sastro Prime Minister. In his period, the first period, he was successful to make a big conference, Asia Africa Conference in Bandung. It is also a milestone of Indonesia diplomacy in the first period or in the beginning of this country. So this is the second milestone in Indonesian history of diplomacy. That is Asia Africa Conference. When Indonesia, supported by 29 Asia African leaders, to create non-alignment. How the voice of non-alignment speak out by Indonesia. Preparing Joyo administration, Indonesia prepared to declare general election in 1955. Preparation, how to prepare this. Because of the political contraction also, Ali Sastro Almijoyo fell down. And Burhanuddin Harahap, as a more revolutionist politician, as a successor. Although less than 1 year, Burhanuddin also fell down. After that, Ali Sastro Amijoyo II come back as prime minister. This period is very monumental because President Sukarno at the time see that what happened in our democracy, what happened in our political system. Sukarno as a friend, a close friend of Muhammad Hatta. Oh, okay. Muhammad Hatta and Sukarno is very, very close friend since before independence. Since in 1930s. And personally, when Sukarno want to get married with the second wife, Ibu Fatmawati, the mothers of President Megawati, Hatta as a representative of Sukarno family to make khidbah. Khidbah, what is khidbah? Khidbah mean lamaran in bahasa, khidbah. So Hatta, because more senior than Sukarno, represent Sukarno family to go to Fatmawati father and family to say that Sukarno want to marry to the girl Fatmawati at that time. So it is very close. But the political ideas, the vision, and many things, it's very different. Many different. So why Sukarno and Hatta should be a couple? Because of the different, not cause of the similarity. So, why Sukarno and Hatta stood together? Because of they both represent the diversity in politics, in ideology, in economic system, in government system, as I mentioned before. Joyo, the second administration, President Sukarno tried to prepare about the new democracy for Indonesia. What Sukarno ideas, Sukarno always talk to Hatta. They make in-depth discussion personally. So Hatta clearly know what in mind of Sukarno. What Sukarno idea to break the political unstable situation at that time. We can imagine from 1950 until 1999, there is no stable government. How we can imagine to develop our country if there is no stable government? Sukarno has a new remedy about this. What he next apply in Indonesia, execute in Indonesia, and he get named the guided democracy. Sukarno make a new concept about the guided democracy. What is the guided democracy? We will discuss it. But Hatta precisely understand and know what in the mind of Sukarno. Sukarno will make expansion. Sukarno will make a national full power executive government. Sukarno want to occupy Papua. So Sukarno not like your imagination. Originally, if we trace the history from the beginning, Sukarno political frame is more than post-colonialism, beyond the post-colonialism. Sukarno fly above the post-colonialism. Firstly, there is the step like post-colonialism, but after that they fly. They use non-line as a new block. They want to create their own pride. They want to create Indonesia under Sukarno, I mean, want to be a political leader, a world leader, and confront to the other country. In post-colonialist, confrontation is not popular. But Sukarno use it. So, as I mentioned before, that Sukarno mix between post-colonialist and realist because Sukarno go beyond the post-colonialist. Okay, back to the situation under Ali Sastro Amijoyo. The situation like the transition to guided democracy. Sukarno as a president in day-to-day government is not a real leader because there is a prime minister. And Muhammad Hatta many times to discuss to Sukarno. So, they discuss everything. They know what Sukarno make a design on politics. Sukarno want to unite Islamic power, national power, and communist power to unite together to build Indonesia and make a stable government, powerful presidential system, and so on and so on. But it is the next topic. In this situation, Muhammad Hatta resigned as a vice president because Hatta worry about the national situation that prepared by Sukarno to make a breakout. So what happened next, Hatta get a clear imagination. It will birth dictatorship. It will burst or emerge a strong political system, but maybe less democracy. As a democratic, as a Western educated person, Hatta is disagree about this concept. But Sukarno is very charismatic, powerful person. Hatta can stop what Sukarno won at that time. Okay, um, because of political intrigue also, Ali Sastami Joyo fell down, and the next successor is Juanda Kartawiguna. The most important thing here is why Hatta resigned. Why Hatta resigned? There are many discussions about this. Why Hatta resigned? Why this important? Because it is as a mark of a period in diplomacy Indonesia. It is a milestone. It is a historical momentum, both in Indonesian diplomacy, also in Indonesian politics as a general. Okay, why Hatta resigned? You can read from many publishers in Europe historically, history of Indonesian diplomacy, the motive behind the resign of Hatta, for example. You can also read interpreting Indonesian diplomacy by Rizal Sukma. Okay. And other books. I make summary here. Domestically, or domestic politics surrounding the situation, and this is the formal reason from Hatta. We can read from Hatta letter. Muhammad Hatta resigned because of the parliamentary system. So vice president was not significant. This is the formal reason. But in politics, don't try to believe 100% about the formal reason. Because politics makes many many faces. So yeah, political reason is like the facet. So like diamond, many many dimensions. So the formal reason is because the system. If in front of the press, Hatta stated because the constitution, vice president is not important. Why? It is enough. A president, single person, and prime minister. It is enough. Hatta like this. This is the formal reason. But really, as a friend, a very close friend, the Sukarno, as I mentioned before, that Hatta know precisely what Sukarno want to do next. Sukarno's policy on rebellion movement, there are the second reason domestically is about how Sukarno make decision to the rebellion political movement at the time. There are many rebellion from Darul Islam, for example, or APRA in Bandung, or DITII in Sulawesi, South Sulawesi. There are many friends before to be enemy. For example, the leader of DITII, Darul Islam, Negara Islam Indonesia, at the time, Sekar Maji Marijan Kartosuwiryo is a friend of Sukarno. when Sukarno as a student in H. Cokroaminoto board, H. Cokroaminoto boarding house. Cokroaminoto is a political teacher for many political leaders in Indonesia. One again, HOS Cokroaminoto. HOS means Haji Umar Said Cokroaminoto was a political teacher for many political leaders in Indonesia, not only from Islamic ideology, but also socialist, nationalist, and communist. That's very amazing. So, HOS Cokroaminoto student to be a leader, not only nationalist like Sukarno, but also as Islamist leader like Kartosuwiryo. And in this context, Kartosuwiryo punished by Sukarno with death penalty. This is a very close friend when they are young in Surabaya as a student of H. Cokroaminoto. So, firstly, Sukarno nationalist ideology, H. Cokroaminoto Islamist, and the communist. Who is the communist? Semaun Darsono Alimin is the communist leaders. All Semaun Alimin is H. Cokroaminoto student also. So it is like a professor room of political ideas in Indonesia. HOS Haji Umar Said Cokroaminoto. Okay, domestic politics, many rebellion. So, as a Democrat person, Hatta disagree with the penalty, death penalty. Why? Politics is not death or life. If we have a different position, it doesn't mean you should death penalty, but maybe in jail is okay. Yeah, this is Hatta perception. The third reason, Sukarno's ambition to make giant coalition. What Sukarno create, so Hatta know precisely because discussion, intensive discussion. Sukarno plan want to create the NASAKOP, Nasional Agama Ugama and Communism, join together to be national force of power to create a strong government. Yeah, I will explore next when we talk about Sukarno. And internationally, Hatta know the ambition of Sukarno to be a global leader. So that is why I said before that post-colonialist is the beginning of Sukarno in international arena. The beginning. The tactic, the strategy is post-colonialist what narrative. But if we trace the history, since before the independent in June 1945, the position or the ideas of Sukarno really very expansionist. Not only Indonesia like today, but also Indonesia, included not Kalimantan, under Sukarno imagination. Papua, it is under Sukarno imagination. So, from the beginning, really, Sukarno had a plan on expansion, not only Dutch colony, but also several territory that claimed historically by Muhammad Jamin as a part of Indonesia at that time. Okay, this is next discussion. The international reason, the second international reason is Sukarno expansionist policy plan related to West Papua and North Kalimantan. So to be a global leader, Sukarno make a plan. Hatta know precisely. From the Asia Africa, Sukarno global leader. Hatta disagree with its strategy. We know that Asia Africa conference happened in 1955. Sukarno used this conference to fly beyond post-colonialism perspective, to be more rationalist, to be global power. So non-block in Sukarno perspective as a new block to challenge the other blocks, and we can the plan to expand to North Kalimantan. From the beginning, Hatta reject these two issues, both Papua and North Kalimantan. Why? Because break international law. Hatta, as a liberal democrat person, precisely understand what international law stated. Go to North Kalimantan, it means you break international law. It means the world will punish you in international arena. What happened? Indonesian diplomacy, if you go to North Kalimantan, and what Hatta imagined was happened at that time. How international condemn Indonesia when Indonesia go to North Kalimantan. Okay, this is the point, and the end of the first phase of Indonesian foreign policy until 1956. 56 after the resign of Hatta. After that, we enter the next phase of Indonesian foreign policy. And very important that this picture tell us many, but maybe Sukarno see that this is very influential to make lobby. I don't know who lobby whom. I don't know. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope we can meet again in next week. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.